I know you clicked on this video because you either want to start a clothing brand in 2025 or you have one that you want to scale. And you're in the perfect place because I have made over $1 million with my brand at the age of 18, and I've also helped over 50 brand owners make anywhere from 6 to 7 figures, and a lot of them are teenagers. I bought my mom a house, I bought my dad a house, I have 2 of my dream cars, and I've moved out after graduating high school 6 months ago and didn't go to college. I travel and work whenever I want, so I felt it doesn't harm to make this video for free, even though I have a community that helps brand owners. So I think this would be a great way to start off the year, and I'm going to tell you guys how you can scale your clothing brand or start your clothing brand in 2025 and make as much money as possible and be as profitable as possible. Now, a big conception about clothing brands right now is that the market is oversaturated. Too many people have a clothing brand. It's hard to make money and it's hard to really be unique and be different. And in this video, I'm gonna make a 9-step course with no gatekeeping on how you can scale your brands and what the top brands are doing to really separate themselves and make sales in 2025. And I'm making sure it's coming from a clothing brand owner who's still doing what he preaches. We just did over $250,000 in Black Friday this last year. I also got a plaque from Shopify right here for Project Capri, my brand, for over 10,000 orders. We're at almost 20,000 now, actually, since I've got this. So I'm still making money with my brand, and I'm still also helping brands. And in this video, I'm not gatekeeping at all. I'm giving all resources. And before we start the video, I do have a school community that you can join for more of all of these resources I'm finna give you. And this is everything we're gonna be going over today. So let's get right into it. Step 1 out of 9 is picking your brand name, niche, and aesthetic. Now, I'm not gonna make this segment too long because I want to get into the good stuff. Everyone knows you need a good name. What you want to do is create a good, catchy name that has meaning behind it. Just like people know the check is for Nike, LV is for Louis Vuitton, and the double C is for Chanel. You're gonna have to have something iconic to your brand that you stick with that is gonna actually build the meaning behind your brand. One of my first tips for picking a name is don't use anything too trendy and don't use anything you couldn't see at a high scale with your brand. You don't want anything like motion. You don't want to have to use studios. You don't want to have to use everything that everyone else uses. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it should be an abbreviation on your brand. So for instance, you don't want to have rich in your name. You don't want to have fly in your name. You don't want to have apparel in your name. You don't want to have stuff like that in your name, especially depending on whatever niche you pick. And if you don't know what a niche is what audience are you specifically targeting? You're gonna have to do market research to figure out what your customers like, what they're buying, etc., etc. Another thing you can do is use other languages. So my brand name is Project Capri. My name is Caprice, and Capri is Latin for the word goat, right? And goat obviously means the greatest of all time. So Project Capri is the project of turning the youth into the greatest versions of themselves while being fly also. And even I don't typically like the project in front of my name. I would rather only have Capri, so I'm working on getting the username and everything for that. But that's a good example of using another language, using something that's meaningful for you and that's catchy that can be used for a long time. Remember, if you make a brand name and it doesn't really have any meaning to you, you're going to be so eager to switch it up whenever you find something that's new or something that's better, and you don't want to do that too many times, right? So I would definitely say to pick that early on. Next, you can also use AI. One of my mentees the other day, we hopped on the phone and he was just telling me, I'm not really too creative. I don't really know what to make for my brand name to make it stick out. So we hopped on ChatGPT and I had him write a whole paragraph of what his brand meant to him and who he wanted to target to. ChatGPT shot out a bunch of options. We said, okay, make it more streetwear, make it more stylish, add this to it, add .co, whatever you want to add to it. And they can spit out 50, 100 options, and it definitely helps. And here's an example of why your brand name can also matter. Before I rebranded to Project Capri a year into business, I was Adore Capri, but people were kind of complaining, saying they didn't really want to rock Adore Capri just because my name is Caprice. So it kind of seems like it says adore me, you know what I mean? Even though obviously that's not the meaning of it, people can take it for what they want to take it as. So your name is going to be super important. And the problem why 99% of new brands are failing early on is because they either have no creativity or their name isn't also creative. If you don't have a unique / creative name, nothing else in the video is really going to matter. Step number 2 is going to be building the brand and getting your products made. So what I'm going to do for y'all is there's one free manufacturer in my description right now that y'all can go look at. It's going to be a manufacturer that I have worked with personally. I'll put what they specialize in down there below. So there's that freebie for y'all. Go down below and there will be a free manufacturer. I will also leave one free designer down below for anybody that needs a designer for their brand. So make sure y'all check that out in the description. And all I need you to do is leave a like on this video and leave a subscribe. We're going for 500,000 subs 2025. Trust. Got a lot of content on the way, so appreciate y'all. Check the description for the free stuff. Now, everybody knows you can use Photoshop, Illustrator, a lot of stuff like that to design. But the truth is a lot of people shouldn't be their own designers. If you're making a brand and your plan is to make money with the brand and I'm trying to help you cut your time in half, then we don't have time for you to spend 3 to 6 months learning how to use Procreate and designing yourself. So another thing that I do with a lot of my mentees is I have a list of designers that I share with them inside of my community so that if you have an idea with anything and you want to get it designed, you can get it done quick, efficiently, or at a cheaper price than time. But let me explain why some people use a designer and what's the pros and cons of having a designer. Now, having a designer is good because as scaling a brand, most big businesses have multiple designers under them. They're Louis Vuitton, Denim Tears. Any big brand is not being ran by just one designer. They have a team of designers that know the goal of the brand and how to accomplish that through fabric. Obviously, if you design yourself, you'll save money because you won't have to either pay for designs or get tech packs made or anything like that. But if we're on time efficiency and you're really trying to start, which I prefer you would do, so I would find a designer to help bring your idea to life. Now, a good way to find a designer is you can always go on Instagram and search .std and it'll show up a bunch of designers. Be careful working with certain designers. I'm not going to recommend anybody just because I know a lot of designers scam or take too long. But if you do want my list of designers, it will be in the school link down below. Now, when it comes to finding a manufacturer, your manufacturer is going to be your business. If you don't have a good manufacturer, you don't have a good business. I myself have went through a lot of issues with manufacturers in my 2 years of business that could have put me at 5 million in sales by now and a much more experience. So I'm going to tell you all the stuff I've went through and how to find a manufacturer that really helps you in your brand. So first, find a manufacturer. You're going to have to establish what price point you're trying to get your pieces at. If you basically have infinite money to start your brand, maybe you could start off in LA and go straight off to some of the best quality and the manufacturing capital of the United States. LA has a bunch of facilities that make clothes. If you want to pay a little bit less than that, but you still want to have great quality, I would go to China, right? And if you want to find a Chinese manufacturer, Alibaba is going to be where you're going to find those at, right? And let's say your budget is super low, right? Let's say you just started off, you're working a 9 to 5, saving your checks, you got some side hustles and you want to start a brand. You might want to go with a Pakistan manufacturer. Now, let me tell you the pros and cons of all of these manufacturers. The US is going to be super expensive to get made. China is going to take super long and shipping is going to be super expensive. A sample can take you anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks and a bulk can take you anywhere from a month to 2 months, depending on your manufacturer. For the US, they'll be able to make it for you pretty quick, but it's going to be a hefty piece of change. So you're going to have to be pricing your product super high off of it. Now for Pakistan, they charge less, but the only thing is Pakistan is the most likely for you to get scammed. I was starting out with Pakistan because I was on minimal funds when I started my brand and I wanted to be able to just release clothes. So I went to a couple Pakistan manufacturers. I've had some not send me the right amount of clothes, send me clothes with deformed stuff, not send me bulks at all. So Pakistan manufacturers are wishy-washy, but I also have made a lot of good products with a Pakistan manufacturer, like these sweats right here back in the day, these hoodies right here. So I've definitely made some stuff with Pakistan. It is possible. I would say if you use Pakistan, get in and get out as soon as you can and try to get to China. So on Alibaba, if you want to find a manufacturer, if you don't already have a list or one from another brand owner, you can actually place a free quote on Alibaba and explain what you need and what you want to get sampled, and manufacturers will reach out to you. And then now when you ask these manufacturers, ask them to see the clothes that they made, ask them what their usual prices is for whatever piece you want to get made, how long samples will take, bulk will take. Make sure you figure out everything about them. And also, don't trust Instagram manufacturers that's under your comments DMing you talking about free samples and everything like that. If they're DMing you, if they're hitting you up first, they're not getting enough business off rip. So just don't work with them. Just save yourself the hassle. Now let's get into step 3, one of the most important steps, which is marketing. Marketing is one of the most important things for brands. Any brand can succeed. There's a niche for everything. The clothes at Walmart, the high-end clothes, the $3,000 hoodies or the $20 hoodies. There's someone to buy every piece of clothes. All that it matters is if you can get enough eyes on your product to sell however much inventory you have. So the first thing that I'm going to teach you is the 1% rule. The 1% rule basically explains how the average business conversion rate is 1%. So if you get 100,000 people intrigued in your product, and let's say you get 10,000 people on your website, 1% of that is the average on how many sales you will get. So if you have 10,000 people on your website, that's only 100 orders, right? And that's if your conversion rate is at 1%. You can raise it, you can lower it, and I'm gonna tell you how to do that later in the video. But make sure you understand that conversion rate is everything. There's a niche for everything. Even if it's a $1,000 Balenciaga hoodie, if it's a $20 shirt from Walmart, or if it's a unicorn emoji t-shirt, someone will buy it. It just depends how many eyes you get on your product. Another tip that I would give is early on, go for lower quantities in your drop. I know everyone wants to have the big drop days, 50K drop days and everything like that. So you're over here calculating, oh, if I buy 100 hoodies at this price and sell them for this price, I can make 10K. Go early on, make sure you go lower on the quantity than higher. So my first drop ended up losing me money. I've told this story 1,000 times, but basically only did 1,700 in sales and I had way more inventory than that. I had about 100 hoodies, 100 shirts, and I only sold like 20 to 30 on drop day and everything. So I ended up giving away some to people at my school. People were zelling me and I was dropping it off to them. And I ended up losing money on the drop because I still had to ship out the items, but I didn't make any profit. So I ended up having to do my next drop as a pre-order. And I did a pre-order my next drop. This was December of 2022, and we ended up doing 20K. So we went from doing 1,700 a drop, went back to the drawing board, learned a little bit about marketing. I am a 3-year marketing student also, and we ended up doing 20K. So that just comes to show you don't want to be stuck with inventory because it can slow stuff down for sure. One of my biggest problems with Project Capri has been in the past, I've had issues with manufacturers. So when the manufacturer calls a delay, it causes delay in shipping, customers get mad, and it just looks bad for the brand overall. So you don't want that to happen, and you would rather just have the inventory and be able to sell it for sure. Now, the next thing you want to do is going to want to build your community around your brand. This is how you're going to raise your conversion rate. Now, the average conversion rate is 1, but I've seen drop days with 6-7% conversion rates. I've seen drop days with 0.53 conversion rates. You know what I mean? Building community is going to be the most important thing. What I mean by building a community is, what does it mean to be a supporter of your brand? Basically, everyone that's in your comment sections, every post, if they were a friend group or if they were a community, what do they have in common, and what does your brand make them resonate to each other with and make them friends for? So things you could do to build up your community is you can do giveaways. I like to do giveaways for a lot of my drops. It keeps people incentivized throughout the whole rollout to engage, but you really got to go through with your giveaways. You know what I'm saying? If you say you're going to give away 5 pieces, you say you're going to give away X amount, make sure you actually give it away. I occasionally do featured posts where I'll grab my best dressed customers, screenshot their post and post it on my page. Makes them feel very appreciated, makes them feel seen, and also makes them want to come back and shop even more because we're actually paying attention to what our customers like and what they're wearing. Also recently just opened an archive page, which is called projectcapri.pdf. If you guys want to follow it, I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I post when new clothes are coming. Basically, I leak everything on that page. So it's basically a dump page for your brand, which for the people that are supporters of your brand is great for them to be locked in and just to love the extra content. You're also going to make sure you have your SMS list set up, and that's going to be another way to build a great community. I have almost 50,000 people on my SMS list, and that means I can send out to them at any given moment directly to their phone, basically telling them we have a sale going on, we just dropped, anything you want to send to them. So building up this list is essential for your community for sure, and it's so essential that I'm at almost 2 million in sales lifetime with my brand within these last 2 years, and 870,000 of that has came from my SMS list. Now, I have people that run my ads, I have people that run my email campaigns, but I personally run my own SMS list because I'm very strategic about it. So definitely want to make sure you set up your PostScript account to get that all verified, and then that's going to be a big thing for building your community. Next tip for marketing is short form content is going to be your king. Now, a lot of people start their brands and they'll maybe be posting Instagram feed posts, and they'll be like, I've posted 3-4 times, I only got 200 followers, why isn't doing it good for me? But you have to understand algorithms and how they work, right? So essentially see your feed as like your highlight reel or your showcase, right? That's where people are going to come if they want to support you, stay up to date with you. Now, your reels, your TikToks, everything like that is where you're going to actually reach out to new people and bring them into your brand. That also includes influencer collaborations, ads, and everything like that. So if you're going to have a good feed post lined up, you're also going to have short form content along with it. I myself have been lacking short form content recently because I've been scaling my brands and businesses outside of my personal brand, but now I'm back locked in on it. So you can go to Project Capri on Instagram and see some examples of short form content. That can be get ready with me's, details of the product, anything creative you can come up with. I recently just made this short film video to promote my drop, so I'll put it up here. So that's going to be the biggest thing, and just realize that there's more platforms than only Instagram and TikTok. I personally don't even use TikTok for my brand. I haven't posted on it in a minute, even though I have one. So here are 5 social media platforms that you should be promoting your brand on. Instagram is going to be one. This is going to be your cleanest slate place. It should look clean, put together. On TikTok, you're going to want to have a lot of short form content explaining your product, the story behind your product, the lifestyle behind your product, everything that your product means to you. You're also going to be able to showcase this, and you're going to want to catch people's attention. I always explain the triangle of algorithm, right? Let's say you have 1,000 followers on TikTok. If you post a video, it's going to get shown to 20% of your followers. Depending on how that 20% of your followers engages with that video is if it's going to get pushed to the For You page even more, or if it's going to get stuck in that 200-300 view jail, right? So if you're posting content, and let's say you have 1,000 followers and you're stuck in 200-300 view jail, you're not in 200-300 view jail. Your content just isn't engaging enough. Of course, you're going to want to get people's opinions. Good questions like, oh, would you rock this? Would you model this brand? Have you seen a hoodie this fire? You know what I'm saying? Stuff that's going to make people comment their opinion. People love commenting their opinion. A good example of this is I made a video when I graduated high school and I captioned it, POV started a business at 16 and graduated high school a millionaire. And I told my cousin I purposely spelled millionaire wrong on purpose just because people love to see people do something wrong or sound stupid. So I did it on purpose, and that video now has 3.8 million views. And you can see a lot more videos like that from me coming 2025. So for all my subscribers and stuff, just make sure, just know I'm on content for real this year. And my last tip for marketing is just remember this is a real business. There's plenty of businesses that their amount of sales does not depend on how many views they get on TikTok or how many likes they get on their feed posts. You can really run a business as a business just by consistently posting, running ads, good content, and just building a support base that messes with you and your clothes. So keep that in mind and don't get discouraged if TikTok isn't working out or your reels aren't getting good views. But like I said, it's a real business, not an IG page. So don't think you're just posting and you can drop, or let's say you don't get out orders, you can just respond whenever you want. Keep in mind, these people are shopping with your business out of the will of their heart. So when people come to me and they say, hey, my order got delayed, it was supposed to be shipped in 2 weeks and it's been 3 weeks, when are you shipping? I'm gonna say, hey, my bad for the delay, because they took their hard-earned money to come support my brand. Your order will be shipped within the next 2 days. Here's a 15% discount code. That's how you run a real business. I see people arguing with people in their comments, debating with people about that don't mess with their prices. You can't do stuff like that. Run it as a real business, damn near to where they don't even know who the owner is. Pretend like there's a management running your page. When I post, I make it feel like it's coming from our team, not really me direct. Step number 4 is going to be, you're going to have to set up your Shopify, get your domain, get your website, make sure your payments are working and everything like that. People always ask me about payment processors just because Shopify does like to hold money early on. I ended up switching to a different payment processor, and they put a setting on my store that declined people after 100 orders in a day because of fraudulent reasons, and ended up making me lose out on $225,000. So I actually stick with Shopify myself. I don't use any other third-party payment processors until I go through my credit union and make my own payment processor. It's easy to set it up. It walks you through it very well and everything like that. Also, I'm going to give another freebie. One of my web managers, his Instagram is at 19skies with 19skys, and he helps with Shopify's. He also designs a little bit and stuff like that. So that's another free resource that you guys can reach out to, and there's more of those inside the community. Just make sure you set up your shipping, your domain, and you set up your payouts. And if you have a brand name and let's say the name .com isn't available, what I would suggest is working with this company called .store domains. I've promoted them before. They're super good. They help businesses raise their conversion rates also. But basically any brand name you have, it may not be available with .com or .la, but it will be available with .store. So they can help you change it to anything. It can be .store, it can be project .capri, it can be however you want it to be. So make sure you reach out to them. There's going to be a link down below for you to get set up, and their Instagram is get.store. Now, inside of Shopify, there's going to be apps, and these apps can also help with your website and help increase conversion rates. For instance, Postscripts is an app on Shopify. My software company that's going to be releasing soon is going to be an app on Shopify, right? So now I'm going to give you 3 apps that I use on my Shopify to either raise conversion rates, help average order value, or anything like that. First app is going to be Frequently Bought Together. It's an app that I have implemented. If someone adds my jorts to cart, right, and a lot of people usually add a jersey to cart with the jorts, they're going to suggest that and give them a discount code on the item so that your average order value will be higher. Now, I've been rebranding with Project Capri and experimenting different niches, different price points, different types of clothes to really see what my audience likes, because my audience is very young and they are constantly evolving and changing. And recently, my average order value was $67 in about August of last year. Now my average order value is $117. So about every order I get is on average around that, which it helped a lot with this app. Another app is going to be Fraud Block Prevention. I just put this on because it basically automatically cancels high risk orders. If you don't know what a high risk order is, it's when someone orders with like a fraudulent card or use their mom's card and the addresses don't match up or something. And these usually end up in chargebacks. And if you get too much chargebacks, that's how Shopify will shut down your store. So you're going to want to limit those chargebacks and not have over a 1% chargeback rate. So I have Fraud Block Prevention. So if a high risk order comes in, it can get immediately canceled. This is only about $15 a month too. Another app that I use is LaunchX. Whenever my website is closed and I don't have any clothes to sell, I will use LaunchX to put up a countdown in front of my website. So when people come to my website, they know there's no clothes available right now, but hey, in 6 days and 49 seconds, there will be clothes available. So that's what I would do if your site is closed, and make sure you have your SMS set up while your website is closed. That's how you'll get the most SMS subscribers. Tip number 7 is going to be the best resource for clothing brands. Now, I was going to put a lot of resources, but really I ended up realizing the best resource is my community. I know it sounds cliche, but inside my community, you get all my manufacturers, all my designers, marketing tips. You get one call a week with me every Wednesday. We put things about the manipulation of marketing. We put apps that you need to use on your Shopify. There's a community of over 800 brand owners in there that's constantly talking. It's kind of like my own Twitter app that everyone's talking on. So inside this, you can get all of that. If you want more one-on-one help, we have stuff like the inner circle, and we also have in-person events for those folks and everything. So make sure you join up to the school community down below if you want. Right now it is on sale, so make sure you guys go join before we raise that. And yeah, if you want more business content like this, go follow caprice.biz on IG. I have made a new business account. Caprice with 2 R's is my personal. I made a business account to post more business stuff on there, testimonials on there, and everything like that, just to really show you guys the brands I'm working with and the brands that I'm scaling. Next tip is going to be how to scale the brand and really make it make sales and be profitable. Now, with scaling a business is basically analyzing what you already have going on with the business, where you want to be, and what you're going to have to do to get there. So I like to plan everything that I got planned ahead and make sure that I can make estimates on how much I'll make, how many drops I have, so you can really live off your brand for real. Influencer marketing has been one of my favorite ways of scaling. Whatever influencer you feel like you can connect with, get to where your brand, posting it, promo. It's basically like every time they post, you can steal followers from each influencer. Not technically, not steal, but you know what I mean. You can get followers from each influencer, and it's going to be one of the fastest ways to grow your brand. Now, there's good influencers out here and there's bad influencers. Here's how to know if someone is a bad influencer or not. If their communication is bad and they're not really trying to do the promo, or you feel like they're going to scam you, don't do it. I've been scammed by influencers, and those same influencers now are hitting me up trying to be friends and congratulate me and stuff. Early on, when you have a small brand, influencers that don't make enough money see promos as just like a free way to run up a bag. So make sure you're careful and you make sure that they're trusted and a good influencer before you send out close to them. Next thing for scaling is going to be ads. Once you've built up a good organic following, I would recommend running ads because it basically guarantees you can get a good amount of eyes on your product every single day without having to make content endlessly and having to like just thrive for a viral video, right? So for instance, one of my last drops, we spent 8 grand on ads to make 80 grand back. So the ads are definitely going to be a big thing that you're going to start with your brand. There's a different type of ads. There's Meta Facebook ads, which is what I was just talking about. There's TikTok ads. There's IG boost or Instagram boost, which is just that little boost post button at the bottom right. Those are good for engagement, but not really good for sales. And then obviously there's like Google search SEO ads, where if you search up Project Capri, it'll be the first thing to pop up. So there's a lot of different ads that you can run, and I would definitely make sure you get that done. Now with scaling, there's 3 things that you're going to have. You're either going to have organic content, influencer content, or ads. To grow a business, you have to have at least 2 of these unlocked. You don't have to have all 3, but you got to have at least 2. So either you're going to have to do influencer and organic, influencer and ads and organic, whatever you want to do to really grow the brand. You're going to have to at least have 2 of those, and once you get 3 unlocked, then you'll really be secure. Here's another part of scaling that I haven't done well with my brand that I definitely am going to implement this year and that I think you should, and it's going to be restocking and revamping. Now, the problem with my brand where I get a little bit of criticism or backlash on TikTok is because I've made a lot of numbers. I've done almost 20,000 in sales and done almost 2 million in sales, but it's not often for you to see a lot of people in my clothes because I'll drop one drop with 200 pieces, sell out, onto the next one with a whole different piece, sell 500 pieces, sell out. Now I'll go to a whole different piece, drop only 300 of those, sell out. And you got to remember that there's 8 billion people in the world. Even my 20,000 orders is not nothing compared to how many people there are in the world. So I get backlash. People will say, oh, we don't see people in your brand. How's your brand so successful? We don't see people in your brand. So one thing I'm implementing in 2025 is bringing back older items. And let me show you an instance. So for instance, I released these rhinestone jeans like middle of last year. I only had a limited amount of pair of them and I dropped them. They did about 50, 60K first day. I'm pretty sure the vlog is still up. And that was the only time I ever dropped them. I dropped these jeans only. People loved the rhinestone jeans. This was early on. Not a lot of people had rhinestone jeans out at this time and everything like that. So I released these one time and I seen a lot of people like them. I sold out of them. More people wanted them. Now what the smart thing to be is to restock the item, revamp the item, bring it back until you can't bring it back no more. I've done this before with my Capri denim flared sweats. I've restocked them so many times because the demand on them was so high that I damn near couldn't drop without releasing them because people wanted them so bad. And I've sold almost 2,500 units of those. So now what I've done is revamp those jeans into different colorways that people would still mess with. I raised the quality of the denim. I added more custom rivets and buttons on it and everything. And I made the middle distressing less big so it shows less of the knee. And now I'm restocking these with another 450 pairs this Friday that you guys are watching this video. It should be Wednesday when this video is dropped. So on Friday, I'm releasing these. There's only gonna be 150 each colorway. And this is a great way to make money off of your product and really get it out there. For instance, Spider has their sweatsuits that they've probably sold hundreds of thousands of units of. Denim Tears has their sets that they've sold probably hundreds of thousands of units of. And that's how you see them everywhere and they become really popular. Obviously, this takes time to be able to drop enough quantity like that, but it's definitely something you're gonna have to implement so that your products can be memorable to your brand from the eye. And if you wanna purchase these jeans, they'll be on projectcapri.com this Friday. I'll leave a link down below. You can sign up for the SMS list. Make sure you signed up. And yeah, they'll be releasing. They're gonna sell fast, so make sure you're there if you want them. Tip number 8 is gonna be daily goals and affirmations that you're gonna wanna do as a brand owner so that you're making sure you're staying productive. Now, as a brand owner, there's a lot of downtime and there's a lot of stuff in between drops that you gotta do to still be progressing and growing as a brand while you're not dropping, right? So I'm gonna just go over a little bit of things that I do daily and how my day-to-day life looks so you know if you're being productive or if you're wasting time. One, you're gonna wanna do something or learn something new every single day about the clothing brand industry, regardless if it's beginner stuff like how to take videos at 4K 60 or take them at HD 30 because TikTok resonates with HD 30 better than 4K 60, or rather it be you figure out how to get clothes made in your own city so that you can make more passive income and have infinite inventory. You're gonna wanna be doing something every day. I'm always coming up with new ideas to scale the business, grow the business, make it more unique, make it more creative. I'm teaching you guys, but I myself is still in the middle of my creative process of building my brand how I want it. So my day-to-day looks like I'll be taking content if I'm hands-on with the drop, if I'm not doing a photo shoot. I'm always making sure I'm checking my brand page. I'm making sure my tag posts are good. You know what I mean? I talk to my manufacturers every day. I go up to my warehouse almost every day. Now, obviously running the brand is going to be easier once a lot of things are delegated, but you're going to have your customer service on point. That means your emails, that means the text for your brand page are going to have to be on point. Your tag posts are going to have to be on point. You don't want a bunch of designers tagging you and bullshit on your tag post. It should be just people in your clothes. I personally work out 5 days a week and I'm hitting cardio damn near every day out of the week. So I like to stay active and stay fit. Truly, when you stay active and you stay fit, it puts you in a clearer mental headspace, you know what I mean? So I would definitely say now that I don't play basketball, I definitely got to be doing something. So I would say hitting the gym is very important as daily tasks. So you should be talking to manufacturers daily. You should be either trying to curate or make sure designs are getting done daily. And that's just stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, things are going to ramp up the more experience you get and the more you know how to do it. But just make sure you're being productive with your brand, whether that means small collabs, shooting content, going and taking pictures of your friend in the clothes, making a reel, you know what I mean? Anything, just make sure you're productive daily with your brand. I would also say don't pay yourself first with the brand if you can. A lot of businesses that start up first, they have to make enough money to be a profitable business. Then they can start adding salary and payrolls. So I ran my business for the first year and a half, maybe I would say the first year for real. I ran my business by myself when it came to emails, when it came to SMS, when it came to packing orders. Now, obviously I've delegated a lot of stuff now, but that also comes with time. So I would make sure you're on top of everything every day. And tip number 9 is future of clothing brands. A lot of people think that clothing brands are oversaturated, but the truth is clothing can never really be oversaturated. Someone's always gonna want something new, just like people want the newest shoes or the newest cars whenever they come out. And like I said earlier in the video, there's a niche for everything. No matter what clothes you're selling, no matter how good, how bad, how unique, how uncreative, if they're marketed correctly, that they can be sold and you can run a successful business. This year, I feel like the brands that pay the most attention to detail and are really putting good collections together, good pieces, a good mixture of stuff that is trending, but also your good own unique side to it. I feel like a lot of the brands that just started it for money are gonna eventually die out because they don't understand that a clothing brand, yes, it can make you a lot of money, but it can also lose you a lot of money. I've had profitable drops, I've had unprofitable drops. So only the people that are really able to want to go through whatever struggles are going to come with a clothing brand are going to eventually prevail. I got a lot of things in plan to scale Project Capri this year, as far as better marketing, more pop-ups, in-person stores, better quality products, better shipping. I got a lot of stuff that I'm incorporating with my brand this year to scale it and definitely can take it super far. Damn near going to become more of something connected to me. So I definitely plan to scale more this year with also restocking older items, bringing in newer items, having more inventory so I can actually make more money and not sell out too quick. So definitely make sure you guys stay on track with the path that we're going on this year. We're going up all 2025. I'm trying to tell y'all, so y'all can either be a part of the journey or you can watch from the outline. If you got any value from this video, you'll get 10 times more value in in my community down below, so I'll link that below if anybody wants to join. And now that you know how to scale a brand from A to Z, and if you need any more proof that it's possible, here's a video of me making 200K in a day at 17 off closed. So make sure you go tap them with that. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'm out.